Damn, Ingenious made the beat? Yo, welcome to another episode of the Coach Life Podcast Radio. I'm, of course, your host, the Prince of Positivity, Coach Steve. Join with me, as always, my co-pilot, the dime dropper, Coach Luna. How we doing, Brody?
Bless, man. That's another, I say it every time, and I don't care how cliche it is, it's always a blessing to be able to get on there, talk this pod, whatever topic it is that we go ahead and attack. It's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful opportunity every time.
You know it. CEO, founder of the Coach Life Podcast and brand about building your brand. Coach Wash, how we doing, brother?
Bless as usual. It's a great day. It's another day here.
It
was a blessing.
You know it. Got a interesting one for you guys today. One that definitely hits home for everybody, because we're talking about health today. We're talking about being healthy today, or every day, or trying to be healthy every day. So we're going to break this down into a couple different categories and kind of break down the symbolism of what a healthy life actually looks like or sounds like to some degree from our limited knowledge base. So again, feel free to chime in the comment section if you have some tidbits that you would like to throw our way. But just from our perspective on how we look at healthy living, again, obviously we've got our own different perspectives, but I think we see a lot of similarities in a lot of foundational pieces. So we're gonna, as we do with all of our topics, let's dissect this healthy lifestyle or this healthy living type mentality. So two-hand pass to you, Coach Luna. We'll give this one to you on this one. So when we talk about healthy living, what does the picture of healthy living look like in your eyes, sir?
Well, the picture, if I could sum it up in a few words, it's just remembering that our bodies is God's temple, right? So how do I honor God by my temple? Eddie Abou, shout out to Eddie Abou. I love Eddie Abou on IG, dog. I love his page. But he said something the other day about being your healthy self. And he broke the word down to heal thyself. And I was like, that's deep. That's nice. And what it kind of made me have to go a little bit further into this search of what it means by like healing thyself. Well, for me to heal thyself, I have to know that there is something wrong with me, right? Whether it's whatever the case may be in whichever area it may be in, right? So as far as the physical journey and being more healthy, there is something that needs healing, right? So that requires my nutrition, that requires my fitness level, that requires my sleeping schedule, that requires avoiding certain things, that requires understanding how my body reacts to certain things. There is we've the problem with nutrition especially is that we've almost seemed to bottle it in a subject that we kind of like just take for granted, even though that this is the number one place that we all seem to try to get our energy from, which is where we get our energy from throughout the day. But we don't like to talk about the importance of certain things and the importance of avoiding certain things, because it's an uncomfortable topic to tell you to go ahead and put down the Oreos, that Honey Nut Cheerios is not going to help you with your heart health.
And isn't healthy.
It's uncomfortable to tell you that your fruit snacks that tells you it's 100% vitamin C, but it's not a real fruit. It's hard. It's uncomfortable to have those conversations to tell you that those things are not good for you, because everybody has an assumption of nutrition. So, like you said, there is a limited knowledge, but I was fortunate enough through my degree program that I had to get very knowledgeable about nutrition. Like it was part of my degree prerequisite. So that was one piece. And we talk about continuing experience and continuing education, like Coach Wash always talks about. I had to keep learning about this area because it's such an area that's so diluted with information as well that you can't really tell who is right, who is wrong, because
it's hard to disseminate a lot of that info.
Yeah, you can get paralysis by analysis because there is so much information out there. So you really don't know how to listen to anyone else because, as I mentioned earlier, everybody's body responds to things different ways. But the problem is we don't even know how to listen to our bodies, to look for certain things, to know that my body is responding to whatever it is that I may be eating or drinking or exposing myself to.
So what you're saying, Coach, essentially is when you talk about the play on words, right, of healthy self is heal thyself. Again, that to me reminds us that there's obviously a connection between healing and holiness, right?
Mind, body, soul connection. It
Absolutely.
is all together.
Absolutely.
Before I go on a pedestal and try to preach, I'm telling you that it is all interconnected. We cannot try to go ahead and put it over there. And these are the same three people that were telling you about the Trinity. Yes, that's the beauty of this whole thing, is that we have come to the conclusion. And it's always been there, but he was like, you know what? I'm going to let y'all have it for right now. But I'm going to tell y'all what it really is.
The true healing, right?
Absolutely.
Again, that it's funny because when we talked about this initially, we go back to earlier podcasts, right? Like some of the first podcasts that we did when we started talking about the Trinity. And now we're talking about this particular topic when it's heal thyself. Again, we talk about the wholeness that needs to be sought after, right? Being guided spiritually. Then you said something about, again, the mental aspect, again, the physical aspect. It's funny because a lot of people tend to overcomplicate, in my opinion, when you talk about health. They tend to overcomplicate it to the point where it's like this massive task that you have to undergo. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. It's only difficult because you put a lot of hurdles in front of yourself.
Well, now let me say, to defend the people a little bit, they haven't really put the hurdles on themselves. The hurdles have been placed there in the system. And go back to our previous part about unlearning. So learning and then unlearning.
True.
It's really learning and reprogramming. That's really what you have to do. You have to reprogram yourself back to your default settings. So naturally, I always pose this question when we talk about listening to our bodies and everybody being built different. How much of that is actually just naturally being built different, or over time, the development of your body adapting to foreign things that we put into ourselves, and then hereditary things take over at that point. Now it's passed down because you're changing your DNA at that point with all of that consumption. So then when you reproduce, some of those things that you've created problems with get passed down. But that may not have been the problem before. So I always pose that question, like, how much of this is actually our fault versus I was just made imperfect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To kind of answer your question, Coach, I think we have to understand that the body does regenerate and rejuvenate. So the organs and everything will cleanse and take care of itself. But here's the problem though, coach. How can the body rejuvenate and replenish if I'm not putting the correct things into my body?
Right.
So knowing that the body will rejuvenate and replenish and all these other things, I myself, I have seen it for me physically within a year, 2 years, right? My wife can see it and tell me all the time. And one of the main things that I've changed is, like we talked about pre-show, listening to my body to the things that I didn't realize was talking to me. So what do I mean by that? So when I was eating certain things and I would have to go use the restroom immediately, for all these years prior, I always thought that that was normal. Like my bowels are obviously moving correctly. Well, when you have somebody that kind of observing you that you see every day, and then she's like, hold on, that's not supposed to be that frequent, that fast, that normal. She was like, "Man, you do like," because she knows I'm a conspiracy theorist, but she's like, "You do realize that your body is trying to get rid of something because of how you just ingested this, and now it's rushing to get it out." And I'm like, "Huh? Well, I never thought of it that way." So that led me down this rabbit hole of, because I've always been somewhat of a health nut when it comes to avoiding certain ingredients and like avoiding white eggs compared to pasture raised eggs because of the nutrient value of a brown egg in pasture raised is way greater than the white egg. And the reason why the egg is white compared to the brown one is the brown one is more natural. The white one, it's scared and it's raised in a farm, and that's why it's not the natural color. The natural color of things is melanin. We're not gonna go in there. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But I'm just gonna go get throw that one in there.
I
But
appreciate the sprinkles, bro. We appreciate the
throw a little
sprinkles.
sprinkle in there. But yeah, man, just like listening to the body, I didn't realize that my body was yelling at me about, hey, this thing, this shouldn't be a thing. So it had to lead me down, like, man, what is it that my body is reacting to? Is it this dairy? Is it this soy? Is it this gluten? What is it that is causing me to have to feel this way? What's causing me to have acne on my back when I clean my back? I wash my body daily, right? I take care of what is causing me to have breakouts? What's causing me to have all these wrinkles? What's causing for my hair to get like I'm almost balding? What's causing all these things? And it makes you have to start looking and digging if you're trying to reverse it. And if you're trying to go ahead and say, hey, man, hold on, my body is probably telling me something and I'm just not listening.
It's almost to the point where I'll backtrack. Fair enough. I was a little quick to shoot earlier in my conversation and saying that it's hard and you're putting a lot of hurdles in front of you. For those who don't put those hurdles in front of themselves and still have those same issues and those same problems with cutting certain things or figuring out what it is. Obviously there are plethora of tests out there that you can take to kind of figure out exactly what you should and shouldn't have. Go get a nutritionist. One of the biggest things that I've learned in being, if you followed our story a little bit, most of you guys know that I've been going back and forth to hospitals with my wife. And one of the things that we've noticed and having a lot of these conversations with doctors is they don't know anything about nutrition. They only know about what it is that they know about. If you're going to see the foot doctor, they know about their foot. If you're going to see, a podiatrist or whoever, or a pathologist or whoever, that's their segment that they know about. Outside of that, they don't know about food. So they're gonna give you medication and supplement of the food you should be taking. So when you start understanding that you shouldn't go to Jiffy Lube to go get your engine fixed. you start figuring out where you need to go to actually find the people that actually know what they're talking about to get you where you need to get to. And I think that's something that's helped me in my personal journey because Coach Wash will tell you, I've never been a massively big dude. Probably the biggest I've ever been was probably like 195, maybe cracked 200 one time in my sophomore year of college. Outside of that, no, sir. No, sir. Have not been a big dude at all. But one of the things that I've learned is what foods I can and can't have. Just like you said, Coach Luna, like dairy, I know dairy is a no-no for me. I know that that's a
I
no-no.
mean, most melanated people can't fuck with dairy, but
Exactly right.
back to that rabbit hole.
But here's the thing about that too, Coach. So here I am 5-7 years ago, and I learned about almond milk, right?
Mm-hmm.
All automatically, I was like, almond milk, perfect solution. Blah,
I'll
blah,
just
blah,
do
blah.
that.
Right? Let's just do that. Well, you go down the rabbit hole about almond milk.
Yeah.
Can I go ahead, find an almond tree, squeeze that almond tree for milk? Can I do that?
No.
Absolutely not. And if I am drinking almond milk, then the ingredients should only be almonds, salt, milk. That's it. Those three things. That's all it should be. And the salt is just for added flavor. The only place you can really find that is at Whole Foods, and it's like $10.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that. You get no amino acids from drinking that, and you get less than a half a gram of protein. So you're literally just eating flavor. You're drinking flavor. You're not getting no benefits from drinking almond milk.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Coach Luna, because you guys would probably know this better than I will. Because I don't drink almond milk just because exactly what you said. Where are we getting this milk from? So the process
I made it from scratch one time.
And that's what I was gonna ask. Like, isn't the process like soaking almonds in water and
you have
then kind of like straining it? Like you're pretty much using that, right?
Yeah. That's what but the amount of almonds that are in there is not
very
minuscule.
It's very little.
Right.
It's very little almonds, and it's all the other crap that's in there. Look at the back of an almond milk. It's gonna say
flavored water.
Gum, this. It's gonna have 19 ingredients when it's literally supposed to be just salt, almonds, and water. That's it.
Yeah.
So that when I started going ahead and listening to Eddie Abou and listening to all these guys that are like top level nutritionists and everything, they were talking about simplify the ingredients. And it's the same thing with skin products, health products, whatever the case may be. Simplify the ingredients. Do I know what any of these things are? Can I find any of these things in nature? If I cannot, then I don't need to consume it. It is foreign. Food is thy medicine. Food is thy medicine. The food that is out already, the food that you can get from the tree, the food that is in front of me, if I was to go out in nature and be a hunter, that is the food. That's literally it. We bastardized everything for comfort and convenience.
I was just about to go there, Coach.
Comfort and convenience has bastardized our whole agriculture because we've come more to, I love how Coach Wash always talks about it. We want to microwave all processes and not understand the beauty of the oven. When you understand that you're not even supposed to consume certain fruits within the time of the year because they're not in harvest. So that's why people don't pay attention to things. You can see an avocado from Mexico during these times of months, but then you're going to get avocados from Brazil and during these times of months because they're not in harvest all the time because they're not supposed to. You're supposed to go ahead and consume them during the time schedule when the body is able to go ahead and break these down. Rabbit hole continues.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we've deviated from the design.
Yes, Coach. I mean, Coach, and you know,
we already had a way, and we just made it an unnecessary way.
He said in Leviticus, the children of Israel This is the food that they should eat, and this is the food that they should not eat. He even went ahead and broke it down to the point where if it's an animal and its hooves look this way, then you should not eat this animal. He said of the swine, you should not eat from the swine. He said about the animals in the ocean, the only animals out of the ocean you should eat have fins and gills. That's it. That's it.
You know, fish, fish,
That's
fins,
fish.
fins and scales, right?
Fins and scales. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If it does not have that, you do not eat it. Ooh. Crawfish season right around the corner.
I'll say you about to tick off.
Hey, I don't make the rules, bro.
All right. Like, don't be mad at me.
I don't make the rules, bro.
I was like, you know how many shrimp boils you got? People gonna be mad. Crab boils are gonna be mad right now.
I've been guilty.
We
So
all
I
have,
lack
bro.
the knowledge, though. I lack the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at the grand scheme of everything, when it comes down to the shrimp and it comes down to the crawfish, because that's the one that hurts the most when it comes down to the South, they are the bottom feeders. And I've always heard that, but it never really just registered with me until even when we just talked about this, Steve. They literally eat the crap off the ground of the ocean. So if this little itty bitty thing is eating this, right? And I go ahead and eat that too. It don't take a rocket scientist to just figure out what I ingested.
Right.
So if I eat 10, 15, 20, or I eat a diet that is heavily concentrated within shellfish, there's health issues that come and arise with those things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what made me think about? But people just struggle with getting out of habits. You know, there has to be a want to. That convenience thing was kind of forced. And I'm gonna stay on topic and not start going down the whole capitalism spiel. But we could branch off and make that a whole nother situation. It made me think about, like, you mean back in the day, you remember LimeWire?
Of course.
Yes.
You remember y'all remember LimeWire, man. You go on there bootlegging, ripping music and videos, getting everything off of LimeWire, including viruses. And then you would find a way to get that virus off your computer. You clear your cache. You start deleting, wiping memory, but you ain't learn. You go back.
Went right back. Download the next mixtape.
Dang, that's the one that caused the whole thing. So I'm gonna delete that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get this one. I'll just use the other one.
You go right back to download it. We right back in that thing. That's how we operate.
That's a perfect example, Coach.
Because people will do, and even when people learn, it's like, oh, I need to learn. I need to do this flush real quick. I need to thug it out for 3 days or 7 days. I'm gonna do this cleanse, and it's back to regular scheduled program.
Feel better now.
Because I hear so many people that be like, man, I'm about to go on a 1-week juice cleanse and blah, blah, blah. And then they go right back to the exact same diet that led to them.
Don't even like deviate a little bit. I'll be seeing that. It'd be different if you started to, like, you know what I'm saying, throttle down.
That's the point of it.
But that's the issue right there, Coach. You guys have to realize, for those who aren't, it's easy for football coaches and football players. I shouldn't say football coaches and players, but it's easy for more athletic individuals who are used to a regimen to find a regimen and stick to a regimen, or learn how to throttle up and throttle down. We understand how to do this inside of like a weight room, right? We understand you can't just go in there and put 450 on the bar and think you finna just go in there and lift the gym. That's not gonna happen. You got to work your way up to that.
Correct.
There's a
keep going.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
My point is that those individuals that don't know how to throttle it down, that don't know how to take those baby steps because they see this massive thing that I have to do. If I'm 400 pounds and I want to get down to 175, that's a big number. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that right now.
400
But
is a big number.
that is a big number. That is a big
Sorry,
number. But my
you
point
said
is
do
like,
that.
again,
400 is a big number.
that is a big number. But how do you what steps are you taking to start shaving that down? Right?
Coach, it's funny you had this conversation. I just had a conversation with my coworker last week, and I was showing him basically my little notes of like the progression of my workouts and everything and the results, right? Long story short, the revelation that came upon me when I was talking to him, I told him, I said, hey man, do you know how many years of you not taking care of your body and the accumulation, the compound effect that had on your body? I said, shame on you to think that your little 2 or 3 months of you finally starting to take care of yourself is going to overpower the past 5, 6 years of terrible diet, terrible rest, and terrible all that stuff. And what he's told me even this week, because I've seen it this week, he's been disciplined with fixing his own lunch and like being intentional with eating what he's eating, how much water he's drinking, and things like that. He's felt more relieved with the idea that the process is going to happen as long as I stick to my routine and as long as I stick to a diet. Everybody gets this word diet so confused. Diet does not mean neglect.
Yeah.
Diet means I now just go ahead and say no to the things that I know are causing a problem. How do I know something's causing a problem? Well,
I was just about to ask you that, coach.
we talked about irregular bowels. Okay, like my stool is moving immediately after I eat this. I'm coughing, mucus is forming, I'm getting acne, my anxiety level, the thoughts that go in my head. People don't realize this. What you put into your body is a direct reflection of what's going on the outside of your body. I didn't realize that I was having an adverse reaction to a lot of things until I seen my whole face literally just lose 75% of its fat in 2 years because I didn't realize that freaking beer had gluten. And I didn't know what gluten was. I thought gluten was, that means just stay away from bread. No, 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 no. Gluten-free means you are staying away from things that are made of wheat, rye, or barley.
All beers.
Beer is literally all three of those things. Like how can they, but the inflammation, my cheeks getting big, I'm going bald, the big belly, all that stuff is a reaction, an adverse reaction to the gluten. You literally may have a gluten intolerance. When you go ahead and eat that white bread sandwich, and immediately you feel like you need to go ahead and go to the restroom. When you eat Mexican food, and everybody loves to blame Mexican food. Mexican food messes my stomach up. No, it's the flour tortilla that's messing your stomach up. Get the corn tortilla.
Mexican food, I don't know what they talking about.
But then some people be like, man,
those problems.
Food,
those problems.
Pizza, Italian foods. Like your body can't process that amount of gluten. And then everybody gets to talking about, well, if you leave the country, you can process it. Yeah, they don't spray their foods with the amount of pesticides that we spray our stuff.
And they're not cooking everything the same way. And you also got to think about it too. When you go to, and again, can't say that people don't go to McDonald's. They're over 3 point something billion sold. So a lot of people go to McDonald's. When they're making the fries, they're making the fries in crap oil.
Coach, I want everybody to do this. Go ahead and Google whatever your favorite burger is at your favorite restaurant, at your favorite fast food spot. Look at the ingredients. It should only be beef, bun, and whatever else comes on it, right?
Should.
That's the basic thing that they give you.
Should.
Go ahead and dig into why that bun never degrades, why that beef patty never degrades. They
And
shoot it
then
up with so many hormones and so many freaking additives and preservatives that thing will never die.
it can't. It's invincible. Then
It's
go
not.
look at that same burger that you like at your favorite spot. Go look at that same burger if they have it overseas, and go look at how they make it over there.
It's the ingredients that it's supposed to be.
Exactly. It's very different. This is why you can go over there and probably eat whatever you want to eat and can't do the same thing here. So I have to ask the question. So because we talked about this, we already opened this door up. And one of the questions that we said was, or one of the things that came up was this massive task, right? We talk about dieting. Dieting to a lot of people seems like this is a massive task. Like I have to change everything that I'm doing right now because that's how the diet starts. Like if I want to lose this 300 pounds, I gotta stop, I gotta stop eating pretty much all day long. I only have salads and white rice and or brown rice and chicken. No, that's not gonna help you. That may actually hurt you in the long run. You have to find that balance for yourself. And I'll just use myself as a perfect example. I am not the person that will have 3 meals a day. I may have one, maybe 2 meals a day. Maybe. I'm not hungry all day long. I drink water, I drink tea, or I drink a juice. I'm really not hungry all day long. So when I am hungry, I eat. A lot of us got it fixated where, okay, you wake up in the morning, wipe the coal out your eyes, wash your face, brush your teeth, breakfast.
And add to that, coach, what is the American breakfast?
Uh,
Cereal, waffles,
eggs, bacon,
pancakes.
sausage, big waffles, French toast. Like again, it's all super heavy carb related.
And that's why you had that morning crash.
I'm pretty sure many of us have had that cup of coffee in the morning and a donut, and that's what you had until 12, 1 o'clock, and you teetering all day until 12 o'clock, and all of a sudden you hit that wall. It's over with for you. So I've been there. Again, I know we've all been guilty of it. So I think the biggest thing is just understanding when Coach Luna, you just said, like, again, listening to your body, like I cannot agree more on that. Like when I started intermittent fasting, like I'm I'm good. Like I'm really good. Like I thought at one point in time, like I'm gonna hate everybody. Breakfast, anybody that knows me knows breakfast is the best meal of the day for me. Of the American breakfast. That's what it used to be. Give me all of that. I'll eat that all day long. Now it's like I can go without.
Coach, and it's funny that
Water's
you say
fine.
it's funny that you say that, man. I promise you, I like again, I had to start looking at everything and be like, man, it's just not doing what it needs to do. But I listen to people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest thing when it comes to this journey. I listened to Charles when I seen him lose 50, 60 pounds, being an NFL pro athlete to where he is now, like freaking action figure. And he's telling me these things about these foods and what it does to the body. Well, okay, I'm gonna listen to you. I literally seen you
Do it.
60 pounds heavier than this, playing a professional sport. I'm gonna listen. And sure enough, everything has been like that was true. That was true. That was true. But my point of everything is like one, you gotta listen. And you gotta start experimenting and seeing for yourself. You have to have some intentionality with knowing what are the things that I may have to cut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, you're gonna have to cut those pancakes. You're gonna have to cut those waffles. You're gonna have to go ahead and cut that dessert after dinner. You're gonna have to go ahead and stop eating after 6 o'clock. You're gonna have to understand that there's a circadian rhythm within your body to where your body goes into rest mode after 6 p.m. So if you eat after 6 p.m., you are going to now put food into your body while the body is resting. So the body is not worrying about digesting. So that's why you feel heavy. That's why you feel that itis after you eat something heavy after a certain amount, after a certain time.
Guilty of that.
Because that you shot the blood sugar up,
Yep.
and the body is saying, hey, we need to go ahead and shut down shop for us to go ahead and get to work.
Yep.
The body is a response to everything that you put in it. You treat the body good, the body will treat you good. You know, and that goes to breakfast. My whole breakfast has changed. Now, I used to, first thing in the morning, I was smashing the biggest bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and I'm talking about eating Lucky Charms where I'm only eating the marshmallows. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm moving all the other little crap out the way. I'm smashing on the marshmallows.
Coach, you do know they had a box that was only marshmallows at one point,
Yeah,
right?
but that was just too much. I never wanted to go that far. But you know what I'm saying? And then I had to just keep doing research. How should a breakfast actually look like? I go
Right.
and visit these other countries. In St. Lucia, bro, they eat a piece of fish and a very small piece of bread and salad in the morning. That's their breakfast with coffee. And that coffee got like something else in it. But what you see is the diversities within the breakfast, and the main things that are being eaten are proteins and fibers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the carbs are coming from the fruits. They not eating pancakes and all these heavy breads that basically just fill you up and then burst like a balloon. They don't eat those things.
That's not part of their culture. And it's funny because when I went to Jamaica, when me and my wife went to Jamaica, that was breakfast was exactly the same thing. They had fish out there, they had fruits, they had again, it was just all stuff that we would look at and be like, that's not breakfast food. Yes, it is for them. And again, we got to get this misconception of what breakfast is. It's breaking the fast. It's not.
No, I
That
mean,
bingo,
look,
coach.
man.
I'm so glad you said that. Break
It's not.
fast.
Yeah, exactly. You fasted last night. You went to sleep. So that's your fast. So now you're just breaking the fast. It's just it doesn't mean that we need to have eggs and bacon and sausage and pancakes and everything else like that. It's not that's what it said.
But
But
you know the crazy thing about what both of y'all said. These are places that are not as developed as the U.S. and it's like we so
right.
smart that we stupid because now we've made trying to figure this out complex when those that are doing it properly simply are just living off the land as they were supposed to without any scientific research. It's not forced. It's like
So
this is what we eat. This is what we were given. This is what we eat. And there's no big market behind the food. So we're not over consuming because we're not being force fed marketing to make us eat more, to purchase more. We
And
simply we don't need we get what we need and we keep it moving. So the more you feed yourself, this what I want to get to too. Before we talk about how to do this just came to me. What's wrong with you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. What's wrong with you?
what are you trying to fix?
Until you can answer the question, why do I eat this way and this much?
Gotta get to the
Where
root
am I
cause.
mentally at? Where am I mentally at when I'm eating the way I eat? Because even with everything we're saying, following a good model and an example is cool. I have evidence that this way works, but there's usually some type of mental, emotional brokenness tied to overconsumption or the misconsumption, however you want to put it. But when you're taking things in too much and for the wrong reasons, you have to know why, and you got to fix that because you may return back to it. Even if you build up a routine to start to fix it, whatever else is going on in your life, that ain't right, that's broken, that bring you back to it. Well, when that hit again, you're gonna break the routine that you established and you're gonna do what you know. It's no different than a drug addict. This is really a drug now. Food's a drug now. It's not what we need. We're not eating what we need. It's a drug. Means you be like, yo, I need this, or you craving that. Like, no, you don't need it. You built up a need.
Wants and needs.
Yeah, we have to clean ourselves in all areas to help break this pattern. So that's one thing I want to put out there. Look at yourself, ask yourself, where am I at mentally when I'm eating 2 portions of dinner myself?
Mm-hmm.
It's too
That's
much.
I'm letting myself get to the point where my stomach is, I can barely move and I just want to go to sleep. It's alarming. What it is, coach, is I love to eat. And that's what it is. That those people that you're talking about is I love, truly love to eat. And when we talked about pre-show, comfort foods. It's a reason why that's called comfort foods. It's meant to keep you in your comfort. We've talked about this a million times. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And if you're trying to get serious about your nutrition, it's going to require that. I can't eat this Little Debbie. I can't eat this honey bun. I got to go ahead and I feel that urge. I got to eat an apple. I feel that urge. I got to eat an orange. And immediately, OMG, I don't feel like eating that anymore.
Yep.
You have to substitute good for the bad.
You know what's funny?
Just try to neglect bad and think that I'm gonna be good because I said no. No, you have to replace it with good. When you
That's why
replace
you feel like
good,
the diet is hard.
It gets rid of the bad.
The crazy thing about what you said, Coach, is that a lot of people don't know this. I like to use water as a good example. So when people be like, I'm thirsty, and they drinking sugary drinks, they drinking sodas, they drinking sweet teas, you notice how you can keep drinking and drinking and drinking. Never stop. Even with alcohol, when you drinking beer, you drinking liquor, and that seal pop, it's running through you, going to the restroom.
It ain't
It's holding on to some stuff you don't need to be holding on to too, but that it's running through you, and you never get tired of drinking. Have you ever felt that way drinking water? No. Water quenches your thirst. You usually get full when you drink water. You get full faster. Like I'm good.
Depending on how fast you're drinking it, you're gonna go sit down somewhere.
Yeah. You get you a glass of water, you're gonna be straight. And same thing with food, like Coach Luna said. You have to do these things to actually feel the difference. That's the first. When you feel the difference, because a lot of times, I said this before, first time I like really locked in and started checking my nutrition, and for the whole time I was vegetarian for several years, when I got to that point, I was like, I didn't need what people say, like, where you getting your protein? You missing this, you missing that. I said, no, it's in the fruits, it's in the plants. It's in there too. I can eat more of that, or I can eat more of this and be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still getting everything I need. But the thing is, I said, I can't tell you how light I felt without necessarily being lighter. The relief on my joints that I had, like, as a grown man post-college, my resting weight has always been like 205. Like, even as a vegetarian, I wasn't losing weight like that. I was still lifting weights. And as a vegetarian, Steve would tell you, Luna met me as a vegetarian.
Oh, absolutely.
I looked 200, 205. I looked at it. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. You never at one point looked like a malnutrition human being.
Yes. No, not at all. Not in the least bit.
No. And even at 205, vegetarian, I tell you, I felt like I was 190, 185, 190 versus eating meat, sitting at the same weight. I'm not telling y'all to cut out meat. I'm just giving you an example of actually trying these things. You will feel the difference in your body. There's no way to know that you're not doing the right thing until you do the right thing because you never felt it.
There it is.
If you never experienced it, then you don't know. You have to do it to realize that, dang, I've been walking around here like crap. Even that you thought the crap was okay because that's all you ever know. But when you actually cleanse and you remove it, you're like, dang, I didn't even know this side of life existed.
Right. It's like walking around with a 100-pound sack of potatoes on your back.
Yeah.
And then you finally get them off your back and like, damn, I didn't know there was this much lighter.
And because you know what's funny about that is I've actually met people that have went vegetarian and vegan, and some of them didn't like it. Like they didn't feel that way.
And
that goes to the point of everybody's body is different. But sometimes, and this is a thing that a lot of people don't, some people just be like, I'm about to go vegetarian. So they just go ahead and they just start eating your normal veggies, your salads, your peas, just your normal base. They have no idea the intricacies of how deep that this thing actually goes. And some of them just go ahead and start doing the Beyond Meat crap, and there's all this other stuff. Well, it said that it's vegan friendly and all this other stuff. Yet you didn't turn around the label, and you didn't see that this thing had 50 grams of added sugars. You didn't see that this thing had all these other things that you have no idea what it is.
And additives.
Now you're wondering why your body you're still expanding, but you're vegan because you still have not yet to understand sugar is thy enemy. You know what I'm saying? We talk about heal thyself. Sugar is thy enemy. I'm drinking this pineapple. I'm drinking this coconut water right here. It's got 11 grams of total sugars, 0 grams of included added sugars. There's a giant difference when you have natural sugars from a fruit. When you read labels and you see something that says total sugars and it says it's this much, there's a giant difference when it says that because it's from the fruit compared to when that thing says added sugars, like when you go ahead and turn your Dr. Pepper and it says 55 grams of added sugar, which is 110% of your daily value. That can right there is finna shoot you up like a cocaine addict, and you're gonna wonder why you want to have another Dr. Pepper after you drink one.
Yeah, those are simple carbs. Your complex carbs come from the ground. They come from the earth. Now you can get some simple carbs from the earth too. White potatoes, try to stay away. Red
And
potatoes,
God didn't make
sweet
you a simple
potatoes.
human. God made you a complex being. So why
Yeah.
would you want simple stuff in your body?
Spit the bars. See?
Hey man, that just came to me.
I'm
But I'm
gonna
not
say
rapping.
bag opened up.
But I'm not a rapper. Thank you, God.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell people just gotta step out and try, but all of it is reprogramming for real. And honestly, it's been force fed to us for a while. But like, what I've been saying lately, I'll repeat it. When you know better, do better, and then you can show better.
So let's ask the question now. Coach, I would love to eat better. I would love to. But it is so financially hard to do that. I don't have that kind of money to eat like that on a regular basis.
Let me explain something here. If you ever claim to know how to cook and you can't do this, you can't cook.
I was just about to say, your cooking skills is
anybody that ate my food, especially when I was a vegetarian, Coach Wash can cook. I got a lot of people that could vouch for me. It's so
with
many
stuff
people,
that I don't like, by the way.
I didn't serve people food, be like, wait, what's in here? I don't eat that. I see you eat it now.
Carrot cake. I'm just gonna say that right now. Carrot cake. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. And this guy, Coach Wash, would be the only guy that's gonna make a carrot cake and bring it to the football game. Bro, I don't want carrot cake. You couldn't make a chocolate cake, couldn't make any other cake in the world. Taste the cake.
Take that. Eat the cake, Anime.
Eat the cake, Anime. Eat the cake. Cake was amazing.
Hey man, I put 2 cups of shredded carrots in my carrot cake. 2 cups. Yeah, you getting now there's some sugar in there, obviously, but this is all from the scratchy to scratch. But even with making like savory foods, like some of my favorite tacos, even to this day, like there was these mushroom tacos I used to make, grilled portobellos I would do, and the sauce I would create, the cilantro sauce. What man? I'm like it's so much you can make, and that's not using anything from the frozen section, not no made up vegetarian option. Like I would throw down from the produce section, not no imitation meats.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many recipes, so much stuff that you eat. And I'm not saying you have to go vegetarian, but I would say even substitute some of your nights.
And Coach, I'm
And you'd be
also
surprised how many meals you may actually like, because it's good flavor. If you know how to season and create sauces, it's good flavor. That's really what we want anyway. And it's the one thing I
right.
should say this all the time. I said you ain't never gonna make meat without at least salt and pepper. Because who
Right.
wants that? Meat don't have flavor. Meat is texture. That's no different than you throwing a stick of gum in your mouth to hold you over to your next meal. You like the
Mm-hmm.
texture. You have an oral fixation, you need something to chew on. It's texture. The meat is good once you make it good. Same thing with vegetables. You know what I'm saying? So try it. Look some stuff up. Y'all like to look everything else up that ain't pleasing.
I was just about to say, Coach, I was just about to say, in this day and age, man, sound old when you say something like that. But in this day and age, there's no reason for any of us not to know how to make a meal or something to stick to your diet. You literally can go into Google and look that up. Hell, you can go into Chat GPT and just type in, this is the diet that I want to start doing. These are the types of foods that I do enjoy, and I need to cut these type of things, and let it work for you. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do to find those avenues. And again, it's just putting yourself in position to find those avenues and staying consistent in those avenues.
So I want to go ahead and give a list to certain people. So
Mm-hmm.
let's go ahead and talk about acceptables and non-acceptables. So for those of us that still have a hard time then getting rid of carbs, right? I love some mashed potatoes and all this other stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a fact. I still eat mashed potatoes, but I don't eat russet potatoes. I don't eat white potatoes. I don't eat yellow potatoes.
Purple.
I'm gonna use a sweet potato, or I'm gonna use the Japanese sweet potato, the purple yam. Those are the only 2 exceptions of potatoes that's going to enter my body. Why? Because of the nutrients that is involved with these things, and it's low on the glycemic index, so it's not going to shoot the blood sugar up. It's the natural sweetness from the potato that automatically already gives it sweetness. It's already sweet. I don't need to do anything to this thing. If you want to add a little bit, don't throw no white sugar in there. Again, melanin. Get your brown sugar, organic brown sugar, the way it's found. Put that little bit in there, and it's gonna go ahead and have its thing. Don't add the marshmallows. Don't add all that extra syrup, because now you're making it unhealthy, right?
Right.
And now let's talk about, okay, well, I learned about ground beef, and beef is not good for me, and blah blah blah. Okay, go get your ground turkey. Guarantee you, again, just like Coach Wise said, if you know how to cook, you can make that ground turkey taste just like you used to love some hamburger helper. You can make that thing taste delicious. You know what I'm saying? Be careful with what you season with. Okay. I had to learn this one again by listening. Tony Sashridge, if you look at the serving size of how much sodium is in there, bro, there is so much salt in just a little bit
Ash.
of Tony Sashridge. But here's the thing, Tony's knows that people pay his attention. So what did he do? He went ahead and came out with the purple top that says no salt added. And it's literally everything that's in the Tony's thing minus
no
all the salt. So it still tastes as good. It's not salty. That's the only difference. So you have to go ahead, add your own salt. What type of salt should I be using? Again, not the white salt. You got to get some pink Himalayan salt. Okay. Salt that's natural from the earth. You go ahead.
You can
put
use
that in.
Celtic salt too. Celtic salt is technically white too.
Yes, Celtic salt, but Celtic salt isn't it. We can go into Celtic salt and the source of where it's coming from.
Yes,
That's the reason why it's white.
correct.
The white salt that we're talking about is your table salt that's sitting at every restaurant
Yep.
that looks like the
Iodine
same,
salt.
it looks just like sugar. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Both of those things are terrible for you. Period. Right? Get rid of them. Get your eggs. Eat your eggs. They lied to you about your egg consumption. Okay. They lied to you again. All right. How do I eat my eggs? You can have them scrambled. Okay. But don't go too ham. Okay. Don't pour a whole cup of milk in there. Don't throw a whole stick of butter in there. Don't throw a pound of cheese in there. You don't need all that. You don't need all that. I promise you, you don't. All right. Avocado. Fall in love with the avocado. It's nature's, it's one of God's greatest gifts to man when it comes to what it does for the skin, what it does for your nails, what it does for your body, what it does for your cells, everything. And when it comes to fruit, and I've been heavy on this since I read it, seed-bearing fruit.
Yep.
That fruit has a seed. Be thankful, be grateful, because that's a real fruit. If that fruit has a seed, that thing came from a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And if it came from a tree, then you know it came from God's earth. You can consume that and you will be fine. You have to be careful. If you're still eating your proteins, you have to be very careful with how and what you choose your protein. Don't go to the little $5.99 cheap little chicken with the that only says not treated with RGBST hormones and all this other stuff. And then the chicken breast is about the size of your head. That's not natural chicken. HEB is very, very specific with how they go ahead. And even if you go to the chicken section, they have this section over here, which is your 18-pack drumette for $5.99, right? And then you go right to the right, and it's the all-natural chicken, not treated with hormones and all this other stuff. And that chicken all of a sudden,
4 of them. There's 4 of them in there.
yeah,
But,
it's only
the package
4
is this
pieces,
big.
and it's twice the price.
Right.
Okay, here's the deal when it comes to the pricing of things. That hospital bill is expensive as hell, ain't it? Imagine my substitution for me not wanting to go ahead and spend this little extra money on guaranteeing putting better food in my body, better fuel in my body, better everything in my body. I'm not going to sacrifice that for quote unquote the money. And then out of this same mouth that I'm complaining about money, I'm going to the club on Fridays and I'm running it up. I'm running my tabs up on the weekends. Ye hypocrite. Ye hypocrite. Don't sit there and talk to me about your problems about money when you're spending money in other spots. Choose your battle. Which one are you going to be willing to listen to, and which one are you willing to sacrifice? If you are serious about trying to take care of your health, it's going to require a lifestyle change. It's going to require or go ahead and try to balance both. That tab is going to be extremely high. And now you're going to have another thing you're going to have to worry about. The compound effect works both ways. Compound effect works when you go ahead and gradually do things good and gradually do things in the order of the way you should be going. Eventually, those things get added upon. Does the same thing the other way. The cheat days become cheat weeks become cheat months become cheat years. And now all of a sudden, everything that I gained went down the crap. I'm very passionate when it comes to this topic, bro, because I see myself in a lot of people's excuses.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to dig it out. And I had to say, what is more important to me? Staying where I'm at or guaranteeing the best future that I can't guarantee it, but giving myself the opportunity for the best future that I can possibly give myself. When I read the Bible and he talks about honor thy body, how can I honor thy body? How can I honor him? Ye hypocrite. If I go ahead and I hear that and that word strikes me, that requires me to change something. Ye hypocrite says, hey man, you talking out of both sides of your mouth. Which one are you going, which one are you going, which route are you going to go with? You can't sit here and consistently know the problem and the solution and still choose not to go ahead and follow the solution.
That to me, coach sounds like somebody that doesn't have a lot of inner peace.
Be wise or act a
Be a
fool.
fool.
Yep.
It's just mind-boggling to me, coach, because you'll have these conversations with these people and they know the answer and they tell you the answer, but yet you're not doing it. What are you waiting?
I'm not ready to do it yet.
Why?
I'm not ready to do it yet. Why am I not ready to do it? Because there's a lot of work that's required in me doing it.
You are not guaranteed tomorrow. How many examples do you have to see in your life, in people that you've met, and people that you've known, and people that you've spoken to that you no longer can speak to know that you are not in control of your tomorrow? You only have the gift of the present. That is it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only guarantee, is the moment that you are currently in right now.
Why it's called the present.
That's it.
Because it's a gift.
You have to get this trap out of your brain of tomorrow, next week, month, whatever. No, it's now. And that's it. And every single day is now. If you get that opportunity to wake up tomorrow, it's now. The next day, it's now.
I think it's just having that courage. You have to start having that courage to stand up to yourself. And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people. And I think that's why I think a lot of people struggle with getting closer to God or getting closer to their physical, or getting closer, getting more mentally straightened, right? Is because they don't want to have that conversation with the big brother inside. Like, I don't want to talk to that person, right? Because you already know the answers. I know the answers. I know exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing and all the reasons behind it. Or if you don't know, I'm pretty sure you have an idea where it stems from. You can find that answer.
Hey, coach, I don't want to have that conversation with him, but guess what? He's never going to start having that conversation with you.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
He's not going to ever be satisfied with you thinking that whatever you're doing is enough as far as the comfort level that you live in.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the best for you, which means that it's going to require you to move. If you cannot accept, you can't sit here and think that the blessings for your life are going to fall into your lap. There, in every chapter, every book of the Bible, there were things that had to happen. When God talked to those people, there were things that they had to do. And when they did those things, God's promises and prophecies and all those things, they were being fulfilled because there was action to what God was telling them to do. If Moses would have went ahead and got all that revelation and just kept it to himself and never moved, would we even be having this conversation? You know what I'm saying? If Noah did not build the ark and said, big bro,
I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow, big bro.
That's cool. You sit there. All y'all go.
Yep. Flood. Done.
Just sit, I'm hearing this voice that's literally telling me he wants better for me. He wants me to do these things. He's telling me to do these things, but hey, bro, tomorrow.
You know what I think it is for some of us. I don't know about you two. I'm pretty sure it's probably like this for you two. But that little voice that everybody has in their head, my voice talked to me like David Goggins, and I don't like it. That's what makes me start doing stuff because if you're gonna talk to me like that, I gotta do something now. Like you can't
It
just be calling me any old kind of name now.
it started like that with me, coach, for sure.
Hmm.
And because it happened again this past Wednesday. Like I ran the 10K and I disrespected the 10K again. And I was mad at myself. I couldn't be mad at anybody else. I hit
Hmm.
a wall after mile 2. I'm talking about 9.5 minute miles. I'm running at the same pace I ran last week for the marathon. I
Right.
hit the wall and I said, and I heard that voice in my head say, man, you all right. Just get the 5K in at least today. I said, man, hell no. And I yelled this while I was running. I was like, no, that's the same voice that made you fall into comfort in time past. Lord, rid me of this as I'm running. Rid me of this comfort. And I said, by all means, I'm going to finish. And if anything, I'm going to finish this race. I don't care if my ankle rolled. I don't care what happens. I'm going to finish this 10K and we're going to reboot, restart, and get it back right next week.
It's funny, Coach. I saw this thing on Instagram. It's a military guy that's on Instagram. I cannot remember his name. It's a bald guy. You probably know who I'm talking about if you've seen him. But he's a um former Navy SEAL. But one of the things that he said was he was talking about this high ranking official. He said this his platoon would come to him with a problem. They would tell him like, so and so is happening over here, and and it's getting bad. And his response would be good. And he was like, every time we brought him a problem, every time his response would be good, every single time. So he said one day he went in and asked him a question, was like telling him like something else had went wrong. So he said, hey Sarge, so and so happened. This is getting, it's getting bad, so on and so forth. But I already know what you're gonna say. He was like, what? He's like, you're gonna say good, like you always say. And he was like, I just don't understand why you always say good. And he was like, why I always say good? Because there's an opportunity now to be better.
Mhm.
He was like, that we're losing the war on this front. Good. That's gonna make us better to strategize the next time we're in a situation like this. And he's like, oh, we pulling a platoon, we pulling up, we got 6 Humvees with us, and one of them gets a flat tire and it delays us, and now we can't get to our extract on time. Good. Now we need to figure out a better way to get an extract closer to us next time, so we don't have to take 6 Humvees, so we can take 3 next time. Like every single time he came up with a reason why it should be good. And I think that sometimes that's what we miss a lot of times in everything. Like when something goes wrong, we don't stop and say, good, that something went wrong. Because now you have an opportunity to fix it. Like you have an opportunity to do something now. And I don't think a lot of us take advantage of those opportunities because we look at it as bad.
That's fun, man, dog. That's so divine. It's funny because I've never heard that story, but when the coaches that work out with me in the mornings,
Mm-hmm.
especially because when we go through our first few series, dog, I'm talking about we holding weight and forearms are shot. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I can't hold on to the bar. And my first response is, good.
Good.
Every time, good. Did you add weight this week? Good.
Good.
You're gonna
Right.
get better. You're gonna get stronger. Good. Just keep going.
Yep.
Just keep going.
That's the beauty of it, right? That we can look at, that we can look at something again. Like I can go to the gym with both of you guys right now, and I know I ain't lifting the same weight you guys are lifting right now. But I can go in the gym with both of you guys right now, and the question will be asked like, you tired yet? Absolutely. I know the response is gonna be good because you're supposed to be.
Thank
Because
you. Oh,
that's
you're
the
not tired.
exactly. Because if I'm saying no, I'm not tired, then that means bad for you two because I got more gas in this tank. That means y'all gonna have to keep up now. Because if y'all tired and I ain't tired, that's a problem. I'm pretty sure it'd be the other way around right now.
Or I'm gonna look at the bar and be like, "Hey man, you ain't got no weight on there. No
Exactly.
wonder why you
Oh
ain't
yeah.
trying. Slap that
Good.
weight on there. Meet me where
Good.
we're at."
Good. So man, I love where this conversation went because this literally goes back to what we talk about in almost every podcast. It opens the door for 19 other different types of conversations that we can have on the same type of same type of topic. So I know that we really didn't dive into a lot of pieces on especially the how piece of it, because I think some people will be interested in on the how piece, like how can I start doing some of those small things. And then Coach Loon, I think you gave some great examples of some substitutions that you can start using today, and start doing some of those things for yourself. I would also recommend too, and something that's definitely helped me is I'm big on seeds. Like I played baseball for 16 years, going into high school, and ate sunflower seeds all the time. Now it's like I'm big on just seeds in general. So your sunflower seeds, your pumpkin seeds, which are really, really good for you if you don't eat pumpkin seeds. Um, uh, Peanuts, legumes, cashews. Like I try to eat like all different types of, different types of seeds, partly because that also will keep me satiated as much, during the day as well. So I'm not snacking all day long, but the handful of pumpkin seeds or the handful of sunflower seeds or the handful of cashews or the handful of almonds, I'm good. I'm good. And I think if you start getting yourself to that point where you're okay with those type of snacks, like so when you start substituting one snack at a time, you can start building a repertoire of snacks that you can go through and that are actually good for you. So again, don't take the diet piece as I have to change it all. Change the small pieces in the diet until that becomes the diet. I think that's, again, let's not make how to eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. There you go. So, Coach Luna, close us out, bro. Your some closing thoughts on healthy living, healthy self.
Heal thyself. Like I said, um, learn to listen to the body. We talked about that heavily. Um, and then like how you said, Coach, the substitution. You'd be surprised how many things out there taste so good that are literally the same thing that you were having, but made way differently. All
Mhm.
right. Start there. Eventually you're going to get to the point where you're not even wanting those things anymore, because as you start eating better, the body is going to reject and not want those things anymore. Like, for example, in 2010, my first time doing a 24-hour fast, a 24-hour water fast, the first thing I ate as soon as I got done with my fast was Oreos. I loved Oreos. I absolutely, I would smash a 24 pack of Oreos all the time. I couldn't tell you the last time I had an Oreo. And I'm talking about years, not months, not days, weeks, none of that. My body does not crave sweets anymore, So the more and more you purify the body with the things that it needs, it's a give and take effect. If I feed and treat my body good, my body in turn is going to treat me good. You know what I'm saying? Our coach Fran used to say this in college all the time. Your body is a Ferrari or it's a sports car. You can't put regular fuel in a sports car. You have to put good, premium, supreme, really supreme. You have to put supreme fuel in a sports car. So
You
what
can
are
put
your
some regular in
supreme
there.
what are your supreme fuels? Simple as this. Go back to the root, go back to where we all started. Dive in there so you can get that conviction and understand what you need to eat. You only need to eat what he already put out there for us to eat.
Mhm.
And this is the biggest one that people need to let go of the bacon. Let go of the pork bacon.
It's
Don't
hard,
you
Coach
listen?
Luna.
I know. But man, the adverse effects of the accumulation from the grease that comes from this pig, there's the uncleanliness of this pig. we're talking about thousands of years. The plague came from a pig. You know what I'm saying? Like all these diseases come from these pigs and mice and all these. I know it's mice, but pigs in general, they eat their own crap. They eat anything that you throw into there. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? So when you eat that, you literally ingest the same hormones that are going within this body. That's why vegans are big on being vegans because they know the hormone effect that it is with eating certain animals and what it does to the body when you ingest it. You literally
Yep.
are what you eat. You know what I'm saying? So if I ingest these things, I literally am what I just ate. You know what I'm saying? I have yet to meet a person who loves eating pork all the time that is in phenomenal shape. You know what I'm saying? Point me in the right direction. I've never met one. That's just me personally. You know, and I'm not just trying to criminalize pork because there's so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to learn, be intentional with your learning and take control of your health. You know what I'm saying? I had this analogy come to my head the other day when I was driving on a country road. Everybody that's driven on a country road, there's one car going this way, one car going this way. There is nothing in the middle. If that, I am always trusting the individual coming this way, that that person is alert to know exactly what's going on. I'm always trusting that this system is going to always be the same thing. We blindly do the same thing with our nutrition, and it doesn't work that way with our nutrition. These people that have worked in this nutrition company have gotten in cahoots with understanding how monopolies and understanding how businesses work, the problem and the solution. So they went ahead and said, all right, well, we're going to cause the problem within the food, but we're also going to go ahead and cause a solution with the pharmaceutical companies.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go ahead and be the problem and the solution. The food is thy medicine. What is the foods? Go back to Leviticus. We're going to go back all the way back to Leviticus. Read exactly what he said to eat. I guarantee you, and I promise you this, if you stick to the foods that literally were written in Leviticus, your body will naturally heal itself. I promise you. I promise you that.
Yep. You're literally everything that it needs. I gotta ask a question before we kick this over to Coach Wash. Have any of you guys ever put bad gas in your car before?
Absolutely. Car starts spittering and sputtering and probably don't even want to start.
Have you ever had a situation where you put gas in your car when the gas, like a tanker, is at the gas pump and they're filling up the gas tank? Like they're filling up the tanks underneath the gas station? Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
filled up during that time? Do you know why you shouldn't fill up during that time?
Oh, no, you're supposed to wait until they're done.
You know how long you're supposed to wait.
Uh,
Should wait at least an hour. When
Educate me.
when you put when you go to a gas station and there's a tanker there and they open up that mount and they put the hose down and they clamp it down and they start pumping the gas down into the tank. Think of the tank as like again just it's a solid tank underground. So it's an enclosed tank. When you open up that hatch, there's a hole that you can go that's straight down, right? What other stuff falls into that hole when you open it up?
Dirt
Any
and
dirt,
whatever else is
debris,
above.
whatever just blowing around, right? Concrete, all kinds of stuff. All that stuff is getting put inside of the tank. So the moment they start pumping the gas in, it's just mixing. So everything that's just sitting at the bottom, all the sediment and everything else, the rocks, the garbage and everything else is just spinning around in the tank. That tank is hooked up to all of the pumps. So while you are there thinking you getting fresh gas because I'm the first one in line, you're getting gas.
You
No,
get
you're getting
working.
mostly sediment, water, and vapor. You're getting crap. So you wonder why you had to fill up with gas right away. But you think about this when you start putting stuff into your body. Think about that in the same sense, like
Mm.
that same exact sense. All of the crap that you keep putting in, again, why you feel like getting crashed out immediately. I had to realize that when I wake up in the morning and get on the blue line to go downtown Chicago to my job. get a cup of coffee, and that's all I drink for the day. I drink a cup of coffee or two large cups of coffee with all this sugar and everything in it. And I'm wondering why by 11 o'clock, 11:30, I'm like, I feel like I just need to go lay down. Like I can't keep my eyes open. I feel sluggish. I can't even think straight. So I'm mentally tired. I'm physically tired. I'm emotionally tired. Like I don't want to deal. That's the food. That's what you've consumed. So I didn't realize that for myself until I started making those small little changes for myself. And that's when it started to click. It was like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. Like this ain't helping. This ain't helping me. So just a little tidbit. Pulling up drop off the kid, and I saw a tanker sitting there, and I was like, this equates. This equates. Coach Wash, take us home, bro. What you got for us?
Nothing.
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 Empty.
I'm fasting.
Intermittent fasting right now.
I was just gonna reiterate. Ask yourself, what's wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with me? Why isn't my want to do better for myself greater than the desire to feed myself trash? What else is wrong to get me in that comfort zone of being lesser than? So figure that out. It's like a lot of things usually have deeper roots to it. Of course, there's external factors, like I said. I don't want to dismiss the fact that, but those are things we're not conscious of.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Luna's example, we're trusting that this system in place when we're going down the road, I'm on this side, cars are coming down the opposite direction, the opposite side, the other direction. I'm trusting everybody gonna stay where they're supposed to be. Y'all trusting that this system is not doing you wrong without asking any questions. All right. But there's so much out here today, you can't really say there's not too many people that haven't heard that we've been done wrong for the sake of the dollar. We know now. You know enough to dig more. So back to that, ask yourself, what is wrong that I can't get started with this? It's too many resources. I tell my kids this when I'm in school, I'm like, y'all resources are through the roof. We do not have the convenience that you have for resources. Like the stuff I assigned to get done in one day was a multi-day project or assignment when I was like, we have everything at our fingertips. Like, use it for good. You really don't have an excuse why you don't know, why you can't do it in an economically friendly way. There's no excuse. There's spreadsheets. There's like, you don't even have to reinvent the wheel anymore. Like it's stuff done already. You can Google templates.
True.
You can Google grocery lists. Well, as Coach Steve said, ChatGPT, you can specifically say 1 week grocery budget for a low-fat diet
with a budget of under $120. Right, exactly.
Specify.
You can get real granular with a lot of that information.
Take advantage of the matrix right now. Like, you know, there's some bad things and there's some things you can do to use it in your favor. So that's my last bit on that.
And because you said that, Coach, I got to add this because there was something that was said in a conversation that I had a couple of days ago, and I know this person's listening, so I want to make sure I kind of add this. I saw a stat online that said probably 9 point something million jobs are gonna go away once AI gets, where it needs to be. And when that person told me that stat, or when I saw the stat and I talked to this person about it, first thing they said was, well, that sucks because like then there's not gonna be any jobs, just kind of like self checkouts. And I was like, no, no, they didn't cut the employment, they didn't cut stockers and workers inside of the store because they had self checkouts. They actually got more people. So I want you to think about this. That yes, we're gonna probably have like 9 million jobs that are probably again, this is some random fact that I saw. So if it's not right, then don't chop me down in the chat comments section. But the comment again, yes, if we are gonna lose that many jobs, think of how many more jobs are gonna happen because of AI now. So my point is don't be afraid of it. If you are afraid of it, don't be afraid of it. This is your time to jump into it and get acclimated to it and learn it so that you can start using it for yourself. I've watched people create their own businesses, create whole game plans on ChatGPT and other AI sites like that. So use it like you would use Google. Go do the work and do the research and find what it is you're looking for, because I guarantee you it's out there. And if you don't want to put the work in to do it, there's systems that will do the work for you. So then again, like Coach Luna said before, there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely a talking library that gives you a synopsis on whatever you need. So even if you wanted to break away from the system, you can use the system to teach you how
to
to
break
be
away from the system. Look at that.
How to be self-sufficient, live off the land. Reducing the population of puppeteer puppets that are poison as pupils through piercing propaganda. No propaganda when pussy is power gets props for gander. Speak against perverted practices and you get popped for slander. Proponents of popular positions specifically to rock your standards. Polluted people pop Molly, pregnant Polly with a metamorphosis to Paul problem. Ironically, Planned Parenthood providing packaged panic packs for pirated pussy or poor use of personal provisions. God, these bonds of Satan. Remove purpose and the value sold to purse pennies. Love and patience was the price to pay to be fed by the pinnacle provider. They deny protection for a glorified malicious proposal. Preposterous pivot. Almost impossible to find a positive image. Lord, these implausible gimmicks. Pencil in prayers. Repent to pass through green pastures. Promises to keep promises and follow king pastors. Prioritize God, bold and not passive. God possess, poised for the sky palace.
Boy.
Hey, I got the I remember Papoose, lyrical
Lyrical Slaughter.
My hip hop
Hey,
heads.
there it is, ABC Slaughter.
You did that. I ain't gonna lie, that was
hard. Very much so. Very
that
much
was
so.
hard, bro.
Appreciate it.
Respect nonetheless, though. Kind of what you do.
Yes, sir.
Yo, again, this was an awesome podcast. I'm again very grateful to have these conversations with you guys, partly because again, we talked about this in multiple other podcasts and just said it earlier in this one. And this is our own personal experience that we're going through and that we're sharing. And the cool part is that some of us are further along in that journey. Some of us are just starting that journey, and we can all help each other grow in that journey. That's the cool part. Like wherever you are in that journey, like there's somebody that's not too far away from you that can push you along a little bit more. Again, it's all about building that community. Speaking of community, If you like what you heard, smack that like button and subscribe. There we go. Hit all that remix right now. Again, just so filled with all this this wordology right now. It's too many P's right now. Again, if you like what you heard, smack that like and subscribe button if you want to hear more from your Coach Life fam. As always, family.